Welcome to Monday. Man, oh man, I'm so glad you're here listening to Kletus Roadside service out of Kansas City. We're running a 5,500 gallon tanker today. We've been running a tanker almost every episode here recently, which is wonderful. But today I'm headed up to St. Joseph, Missouri. And I've been listening to the Walk Like a Mailman podcast, and they talk about this Pony Express up in there. I might have to stop by and drop off a letter or something. I don't know. I don't know, but it's really interesting because if you don't listen to the Walk Like a Mailman podcast, they talk about mailmans and mail women's and all kinds of other stuff that's going on with the mail, and it's really interesting. It's really interesting, and you know. Who hasn't been pissed off at their mailman before? Let me talk about, hey, and you don't realize what they're going through until you listen to like Walk Like a Mailman or something. Tell you what, one day I was so mad. My mail just kept not getting delivered. It was getting delivered for years, perfectly fine, and then it just stopped getting delivered, and we had to go up. And I was like, what's going on? They're like, yeah, I don't know. They said there's something wrong with your mailbox. I'm like, what the hell? I go out to my mailbox. It looks like a normal mailbox. I open it up, full of ants. Full of that motherfucker was full of fire ants, man. So I ended up putting one of them little thingamajiggies up in there to make the ants eat it and then go away. So hey, you never know. You're like, man, this mailman, he's been doing great for years, and now what the hell's going on here? I need to get my mail. Um, and I don't know. Usually, if I have a problem with something being delivered to my house, it's usually not the USPS. It's usually like Amazon, but they always do a good job for the most part too, or even UPS or whatever. I don't know. I had one guy come up to my door years ago. Hey man, says that my letter was sent to your house. It's a title for my car. I was like, brother, I ain't got no fucking title to nothing. And he's like, are you sure? I'm like, well, I mean, I can look real quick. I just walk inside my house and I look around and I come back. I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. He's like, ah. And you could tell that guy's pissed off. But I'm like, there's nothing I can do for you, man. Like, I don't have any mail. Like, first off, I rarely accept the mail. It's usually my wife getting all the mail and whatnot. And I really don't want to like turn you down and make you feel really sad, but when my wife gets mail from somebody else, she throws it in the trash. It's usually junk mail from our previous owners or whatever, but this was not a previous owner. This was like just a guy in the neighborhood, I believe. I don't know, but she's thrown that shit away. And I'm like, hey, babe, when you get mail that doesn't belong to us, I need to figure it out. She's like, well, it's normally just like junk mail and stuff. I'm like, well, that's okay. Throw away the junk mail. That's fine, I guess. I don't know. Is that legal? But I'm like, this poor guy, he's got his car and he needs to get his title, and he's got his title, but it came here, and I'm like, did you throw it away? She's like, I don't know. She didn't say no. So I don't know. Never heard back from that guy. Again, everything's all right. And then I think it was kind of little bit of karma on her part. She had a sweater delivered, and then when she was looking up where the sweater went, it was like I'm a good mama or something. It was like she buys herself a good mama sweatshirts and whatnot, and it went down the street to a different house. And now this was exciting because I was the one that had to go deal with it, which is fine. But I go down, I knock on the door, and I'm like, hey, my wife, that sweater that your wife is wearing is actually my wife's sweater. Because she showed me a picture of it. She's like, oh, really? I was like, yeah. I'm like, oh, Like, we just opened it. Let's look at the package. They look at the package. It's got my wife's name on it. I'm like, you opened our mail, and now you're wearing my wife's sweater. What the hell? Like, you think you just got a random sweater in the mail, and you're like, let me wear this real quick. Insane. She took it off. I brought it home. My wife burned it. She couldn't stand the thought of somebody else wearing it. I was like, they seem like clean people. They just, like, I don't know, somebody mailed me a sweater. Anyways, I don't know. I haven't had any issues with mail lately. I am thinking about rebuilding my mailbox, though, like getting a new one. The little flag, I never put mail in there to mail out anyways. If we need to mail something, I take it to one of them blue boxes, or actually up to the post office or whatever. I don't know why. I don't feel like I can trust the little flag. And plus, the mail guy, he's trying to get rid of mail. He don't want to be picking shit up and then have to go to a different section in the mail room and put it in there. I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe he don't care. But we never mail shit out of our mailbox. We only receive. So my flag fell off, and it's just been hanging down on it's just over there hanging. I need a spit. Where the hell? Let me. Um, Upon chugging my coffee, I really got to take a shit now. Holy moly! Sorry, I just spit so bad. I was like, I have to chug something. I got a little coffee right here. I'm gonna chug this coffee. I'm like, oh God, it's time. I need to pull over. I just left the shop. I gotta pull over and take an hour's shit now. I've been eating so much cheese. I had Rotel last night. I made me a Velveeta with spicy sausage in a crock pot and, Rotel and whatnot. And I've been eating a lot of Takis. But anyways, I made that little after lunch. Made like a little crock pot full of this Velveeta deliciousness. And then I just kind of left it on keep warm on the crock pot until like, I don't know, 6 o'clock last night. I've been just chewing on it. And it's kind of spicy, kind of burns. I already took a shit. I need to take another one. Also, my wife has been giving me, she bought some of these like gummies. She's trying to get healthy. So she bought a bunch of these gummies. There's like a D3K2 one. There's another one that's magnesium. And the magnesium ones are fucking delicious. And I ate like 4 or 5 of those bitches. And I was like, what, as I'm eating them, I was like, what are these ones? What does magnesium do for you? She's like, it loosens you up. I was like, oh God. I've eaten 4 of these gummies. She's like, you're gonna shit yourself. You better be near a toilet all day. I'm like, oh man, this ain't no good. I'm all magnified. I can feel the magnet pulling the shit out of my ass. Is it the Earth's core? Is the other side of the magnet just pulling it down like it's about to come straight through this fucking seat of the truck? But it's all mushy. Oh God. Anyways, you guys don't want to hear about shitting, but I'll bring it back up if anything accelerates. This weekend was a good weekend. I cleaned up the garage a little bit. Now, I didn't do a whole lot. There was a lot of pre-cleaning you had to do before you can actually start cleaning. So I set a bunch of, we had like little bikes that the kids just kind of got bigger bikes. My wife's friend gave us some actual pedal bikes that are smaller, but bigger than these ones. And so I was like, oh, you know what? It's time to get rid of the balance bikes. So I threw them out on the curb. And then I bought, probably 4 years ago, a long time ago, not 4, maybe 3. I bought my son a regular bicycle, with pedals and the chain and the brake and everything. But it was in the shape of a street bike. I thought it was the coolest hell. I was like, he's going to love this fucking bike. So I bought it for him. He hates it. He thought it was really cool on Christmas whenever he got it. And then after that, he hated it. He's like, I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's too tall. It's weird. It doesn't feel good. It's not a normal bike. He always cried for a normal bike. I was like, all right. So and now we got him a normal bike. That brand new street bicycle that I don't know what we paid for it, 60, $80. It's brand new still. And I rolled that bitch out to the curb. But there was also a lot of donate bags. My wife and her sister, my sister-in-law, my kid's aunt, anyways, they were in the basement. They were going through all the kids' clothes over the years because they grew. We haven't really gotten rid of too many clothes since they were a kid. We just kind of loaded them up into tubs and left them, but we needed the room because the kids, we keep buying more kids' clothes, and now we just have. I had probably 32 bags, 32 trash bags labeled donate that she had just tossed into the garage. They were in my fucking way. I'll tell you what, they were in my fucking way. And that was their point, to do that. And so it was yesterday, Sunday, before lunch. And I was like, what the hell am I supposed to do with all these donate bags? She's like, donate them. I'm like, all right, where's a donate place? And she's like, she's like, some of the places are closed, but there's one, 2 towns over. And I said, I don't want to drive 2 towns over. So I loaded up all the bags, and I don't know. I was thinking about going over there, but I remembered, and hey, for all you guys out there, this might be, remember. I might help you remember, because I remembered, and I was overflowed with joy that I remembered where I buy my chew, the gas station. They have 2 big-ass donation bins out in the parking lot. And I was like, that's perfect. So I went over there. Usually it's overflowing. Like, I don't know. It's like they put them out there, and then I don't know if they're even active. I don't know if anybody's, doing anything with them. But they were empty. So I was able, all 32 bags, I had to split them up, 16 in this bin and 16 in the other bin. But I got rid of them. I got back to my house. I folded up like all the cardboard boxes, because we still had a lot of cardboard boxes from Christmas and whatnot. They had just been, because it's just a big pile of shit. Whenever there's a big pile of shit, you don't feel bad about throwing more shit on that big pile of shit. So anyways, there's cardboard boxes and donate bags all over in the garage. And it's part of my New Year's resolution, get my wife's car to park inside. It's a brand new car, and it's pretty fucking cold out. It would be nice to keep that car like interior, but I didn't make it that far. I got pretty wore out after doing the bags and the cardboard boxes. I wasn't wore out, but I was kind of like, okay, now I got to start like sweeping the floor and finding tools over here, and organizing this area and organizing that area. I took the trash out because we have like a little trash bin next to our deep freezer in the basement. Whenever she gets home with all them groceries, you know how it is. You got them paper bags and plastic bags full of frozen shit, and you take them to the deep freeze, you unload the bag, and you throw the bag on top of the pile of trash at the trash can. It's like the laundry room trash can also never gets dumped. That was another big problem. There's like old detergent jugs and lint and underwear with holes eaten out of them. That I'm not proud of that one, but my dog, my new dog, my German Shepherd, she's a gross bitch. I take off my underwear, whenever I got a dirty laundry basket, and she digs in there and eats the ass out of my fucking dirty underwear. I'm like, you gross bitch. You gross bitch. You're ruining my underwear. Not cool. So anyways, I emptied all the trash out and everything. Everything's good now. So I guess I did something. I did a lot more than I've ever done not ever done, but I did a lot more than I have done the last few weekends, where I did absolutely nothing. But yeah, the garage now I got my motorcycle. Doesn't have to be like at the front of the garage. I can push it all the way up into the garage. So now you can walk around and maneuver around. And I'm waiting for another slow day or whatever. I'm gonna get home and probably looking for more of a warmer day, because having the garage door opened up on a cold day is just not. That was another part of it. I was like, I gotta open up the garage door so I can move shit out. But I don't know. My dumpsters are full. My trash dumpsters are full now. Got rid of some of the kids, old junky toys and whatnot. But getting all the tools organized, getting all the other shit organized is going to be a little bit more of a process. But I think we can do it. I think it's going to be. I'll do a little bit more either next weekend or whatever day. If I get a wild hair up my ass, I like that. If I get one of them, I'll start working on it again. But as of yesterday, I said I'm going to go back inside. I'm going to eat my cheese dip. I'm going to make some cheese dip and eat that bitch. I watched a movie. So there was a new movie that came out on Netflix, and it was with I don't know, those two famous guys. They're R.I.P. The R.I.P. or whatever it is, R.I.D. I forget what the fuck it was. The Rip or what it was. I think it was what it's called. I hate to be the guy, but I did not like that movie, really. I didn't really like that movie at all. I mean, I guess I think I kind of stopped paying attention to it towards the end because I was just not getting into it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it was about it. Not a big fan of it. I guess I'm glad I watched it to find out I didn't like it, but it was not a very good movie. Go check it out for yourself. Tell me I'm wrong if you want to. But it's got the what's his name? Fucking Jennifer Lopez's husband and the other guy. Fuck, I forget him. Anyways, what else is going on? What else is going on? Oh gosh, yeah, I forgot. This was Thursday. I didn't record on Friday. Thursday. This is about work now. Uh, I did my run, and then I got back, and then I had to load again, and I hadn't done that. And it was, I had to work an extra couple hours after, already a pretty decent day worth of driving. It was almost 600 miles, which isn't, I know people do more than that, but I have to stop and load and offload, and, so the hours were there. The mileage could have been higher, but man, I got back to the shop and I go into the office to talk to the lady in there just because I wanted to see what I was doing on Friday to make sure everything was going to be all good. And I walked into the middle of her trying to figure out what she's going to do. She needs somebody to offload a truck and load another one. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh God, this ain't for me. I was helping her solve the problem because she's like, so what happened was we have another tanker, which is actually the one I'm driving today. Somebody took it out, drove it out a couple of hours. That one kid that was fucking with me on that last episode that, slow and lazy or whatever. He was supposed to offload the truck when he came back. He didn't. He got back at 4 o'clock, parked the truck, and went the fuck home. And then I show up at, 6 o'clock? Almost 7 o'clock probably. And then they're like, I don't know why he didn't offload that truck. We needed that truck to be offloaded. It's got to go up to Iowa or wherever in the morning. I'm like, well, you should tell that fucking idiot to come back in here and offload that thing. And she's like, yeah, I will. But then I'm like, how much is in the truck? So she found out that there's only 800 gallons in the big ass tanker. And she was talking about having them unload it into a tote or totes or whatever at the shop just to store it until we could take care of it another day or whatever. And I was like, how about this? We just fire up 2 trucks, a smaller vac truck. We'll fire that up. I'll run hose inside the shop over to the other truck and offload it, without having to move any trucks. She's like, that's a wonderful idea. Can you go do that for me? I'm like, God damn it. All right, fine, I will. So I go down in there, and it's going to this recycling place. This is a place they can't take anything flammable. The truck that she told me to load all of this liquid into had just hauled unleaded gasoline. And I'm like, this is not going to work. She's like, why not? I'm like, it's full of gasoline. If I load up all that water into this truck that had gasoline in it, it's going to fail when it gets over there. She's like, oh, well, load it in this other truck. I'm like, fuck. So that meant I had to move a bunch of fucking trucks around. So I go down in there. I have to open up one garage door, move a truck out, move another truck out, move the other truck back in, and then go over and move another truck out, and then another truck out, and then move one truck back, and then I could get the one truck in, and then move those other 2 trucks back into the shop, and then I could finally start loading. I ran the hose over to the tanker, and then I got everything hooked up, and I started pulling vacuum. I made sure all the fucking wing nuts are shut and everything. I don't need any fucking leaks today. And I start the loading process, but it's not moving. None of the shit's moving. What happened is there's something clogging the fucking hose. And I was like, God damn it. So I tried pushing pressure. Then I tried pulling vacuum, pulling pressure, pulling vacuum. And I don't know. Eventually it worked. I don't know how much shit was clogged up in the fucking hoses, but it took a while. And then she came down in there, and then I did have a little, whenever I was unhooking everything, and shit was dripping all over the floor. And the floor is completely dirt. Like it's a nice concrete floor, but there's just dirt in there because it's at a low spot in our yard, so it's where mud collects. And every time you back a truck in and out of that fucking building, it's just tracking in dirt. So it's a dirt floor. Like any of this shit that gets on the floor is going to dry and turn into dirt. It's not going to be a big deal. But she's over there trying to make it. She's like, we got to clean up your spill. I'm like, let it dry. It's a couple of drips. It's like maybe an ounce worth of liquid got on the ground. It'll dry. It'll turn into dirt, and it'll get, until we actually come in here and like clean the area, and maybe, we need to fucking pave the lot outside. There's no point in cleaning anything. Anyways, I helped her fucking clean that shit up. And then I was finally able to go home, but I was like, you motherfuckers, Oh, and that wasn't even all of it. I get into because the guy that needed to take the semi-tanker, I get into the truck. I was looking for the paperwork, because usually, it had a load on it. There should be paperwork associated with that load in that truck, but we transferred it to a new truck. I get in there, brother, this guy, the whole passenger floorboard was full of trash. And she's like, he drove this for one day. I'm like, yeah, and this truck was cleaned out before that. I know. This dude, there was so many bags of old food and pop cans and energy drinks and coffee cups and just shit all over the inside of this truck. And I was like, what the fuck, man? She's like, we got to clean that out. I'm like, listen, lady, I've had a long fucking day. You want me to clean up somebody else's fucking mess? She's like, well, I'll just do it. I'm like, God damn it, I'll fucking do it. So I go over there and I clean the fucking thing out. It was a pain in the ass, but it wasn't a pain in the ass. It was just another fucking thing to do. I'm over, this fucking guy is real, without him being there, it's really been pissing me off, It's like, you're lazy. You didn't offload the truck. You didn't clean up any of your trash. We can't find the fucking paperwork. And then the other guy, I'm sure he just showed up and was like, do, my day's a good day. All right, perfect. The truck's offloaded and it's cleaned up. Cool. Like, brother, you had me working a long ass day trying to make sure your fucking shit's cleaned up. How about a little thank you somewhere? I know the office lady that was there was saying thank you for that. Like, yeah, yeah. So then Friday showed up. Friday was a good day. I was able to come in, grab my truck, get the fucking road, headed down to Tulsa, offloaded, turned around, came back, got back to the shop, and went the fuck home. Worked out well. Now I still have a trailer full of trash in my backyard. That's another thing I wanted to get done this last weekend, but yeah, I don't know. My poor pickup truck is just struggling. I really, for having a name like Kletus Roadside Service and having a truck that runs so bad, I should really, really fucking spend some time working on it. I did. I got it to run a little bit better, I thought, and I think it does, but I don't know. I think there's something going on with the distributor, and it's getting corrosion in it really easily, and I'm guessing that's why it's starting to run really bad again. Because it ran decent the first time I fixed it, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it. It's got to be. There's got to be something going on there. So I don't know. These really cold mornings when I've been trying to drive it into work. I mean, if you're going slow speeds, it'll run just fine. But when you're trying to do, maintain a 65 to 70 mile an hour speed zone, and you're trying to pull them hills and shit, I don't know. It's like it's choking on fuel, and I don't know. Seems like it could be something pretty simple to fucking fix. I just need to. I don't know. Part of me wishes I could just have somebody come over and help me do it, but part of me wants me to just, go ahead and watch whatever YouTube videos I need to watch and fucking get it taken care of. It seems like a problem that I could fix. I think somebody else could fix it a lot easier, but I don't know. I don't know. Um, but anyways, getting the garage cleaned up, that was pretty fucking cool. Hanging out with the kids, hanging out with the dogs, had a good old time. Good old time. I'll be back in a little bit where we'll finish up this episode. I'm sure there's going to be something exciting happen after today. I got to make I think 2 trips out of St. Joe, so this first one should be pretty boring, and then the second one we got to get the frac tank cleaned up. So I'll be involved with the cleaning process at least a little bit. I'll be back. All right, we're with our final load here. The first load didn't go so bad, It was a little frozen. By the time I got back down to Kansas City where I needed to offload all this fucking water shit, it had froze up the pipe. It's my dash is saying 21. I don't think so. My phone says 16. I don't know which one to believe. It was pretty fucking cold out. We spilt some water on the ground because they were there at the end. We're cleaning out this little mini frac tank, and on the very last load that I'm getting out of it, I got a little over half. I think I got let's think about this. I think I'm gonna write down 2,500 gallons. I got 2,500 gallons worth of liquid out of there, and they're getting ready to turn the pressure washer on, but it won't turn on, and it's one of the big. It's got a 500-gallon tank on a trailer with a Landa branded pressure washer mounted on the trailer and a bunch of other shit. And yeah, I don't know. We started running RV antifreeze through our systems to keep them from freezing up. That better not be my old car. Is that my old Chevy Cruze? No way that is. Nah, that I had a Chevy Cruze just like that. I'm surprised to see that thing running down the road. Anyways, yeah, it was all froze up at their, mine was froze up, but I was able to pull vacuum and whatnot. They had to shove a rod up in there and try to break the ice out. And then, it's a 500-gallon tank. So where that connection, I mean, it's just flowing out. And then the supervisor of the job, he was the one doing all that. I'm on the opposite side of the fence. I can't even get over there. I'm running my hose for my vac tanker underneath the hose, underneath the damn fence. And anyways, he got completely fucking soaked. But there was water went all over the ground. It took probably 2 minutes, and it was a sheet of ice that I was standing on. I was like, oh shit, don't spill any more water, man. It's icy. So anyways, I got the Chevy Cruze is now behind me. Why are you? I'm in the slow lane. I know I'm going a little faster than everybody else. We got a fucking day cab slowing us down. We're doing, what are we on? We're on I-35 southbound. No, we're on I-29. I get them mixed up. I got them mixed up earlier. Somebody called me while I was leaving, and I went a weird ass way to get back up to St. Joe. But anyways, no, I just wanted to say it's cold enough outside that if you spill some water on the ground, it's gonna turn into an ice sheet pretty fucking quick. But yep, they're still there. They got the frac tanks blown, pressure washered out, and it's a heated pressure washer. It's got a heater on there, so we were able to melt all the ice and everything, get everything sucked up, and I'm just headed back down south, back to Kansas City. Gonna offload this one. And well, I did hop in the truck while they were washing the tank out. There's no point. They already have two guys out there on the correct side of the fence watching the guy inside the tank pressure wash. So I felt confident enough that I can go sit in the cab of my truck while they're cleaning it and fill out another paperwork, another BOL. So got that filled out, and then I might have just happenstance opened up Facebook and started scrolling on there, and yeah, I follow the podcasters for Facebook, Facebook for podcasters, whatever the fuck it is, and it's just something they do every single day where they're like, post up your cover art, and spread it around or whatever. Mo Train over there, I don't know who Mo Train is, but hey, he's putting in the work on that damn group. Tell you what, he's on it. And I noticed the Walk Like a Mailman put up their deal, so I hit like on that, and then I started scrolling through, and I saw my back road friends. They're over there. I saw the Broken Wing Nuts, and I kept scrolling through, and then I saw another one that was it was like Life Under the Hard Hat, and I mean they only have one episode out right now, so I don't know. I'm gonna promote them, but they only got one episode out right now, so I don't know. I hit follow. I rated their show, and I went down to see the comments because they had 2 comments on their very first episode. So I was like, that's interesting. And Would you know, old Pink Toes commented over there. He caught him before I did, but he went ahead and left a comment over there. That was awesome. Glad to see that. And then I went ahead and put up my cover art on that Facebook group. And old Walk Like a Mailman. They came in strong for me. They liked my picture, and they left me a comment. You know I love them comments. And I was just talking about them this morning, wasn't I? But anyways, glad to see it. The Life Under a Hard Hat. I'm not sure. I haven't listened to the full episode quite yet. I was gonna listen to it on my drive, but then I was like, well, I gotta record also. But I listened to probably half of it, and it's pretty cool. There's two guys. They're I believe they're out on a job site somewhere, and it's like a long-term job site. I don't know. They're just traveling construction crew. Could be pipeline. I don't know. But I know them pipeline guys. They live out of campers. They have, they ain't got no life other than fucking work. Um, and yeah, it's kind of fun to listen to them talk about it. I don't know. I saw that cover art and I was like, "Yep, you got a subscriber here." And I've got a lot of room now since I've gone through and unsubscribed from so many big ass podcasts. Which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like the big podcast is where everybody probably wants to end up as being a big podcast or something. But I like to hear them small. I like to hear the small podcasts. I like to help out if I can. I don't know if I can. I don't know if you guys are going to go look them up or not. But they seem like some pretty good guys. They're talking about, winning the lottery and whatnot. So I'll be there. I'll be listening to their stuff as it starts coming out. Sounds like they just kind of started up a project. And what better time to start up a podcast? You're out in the middle. I don't know where they're at. They could be in Nebraska. They could be in Texas. They could be in Florida. I don't know. I don't know where the hell they're at. And maybe they'll talk about exactly where they're at. I'm not sure. But what better? I'm just like, that is a really cool. You got your friend at work, and you guys are both stuck in your campers when there's not work happening. I mean, because a lot of those guys, they go out they hit up the town. They go to the town, they hit up the bar, they hit up the nudie club. Maybe there's a casino nearby. Maybe there's a river they can go fucking skinny dipping in. Maybe they could go to a trailer park nearby, steal a couple bicycles, do some jousting. I don't know what they're going to do. I haven't heard anything saying they ain't going to do those things. So, but, they're like, hey, let's start up a podcast. Pretty fucking sounds like the right thing to do to me. Start up a podcast. You're sitting around, you get to talk about your work and everything. Now, I don't know. They didn't name their company, and I don't want them to name their company, but I don't know. I would, if my company knew I was recording a podcast, I would probably stop. I would probably be off of this podcast. I wouldn't be recording shit. My boss is like, hey, I heard your podcast last week. Uh-huh. What, do I need to go to HR? What are you doing here? What are you, or he'd probably just sit on it. He's like, all right, we could fire him whenever the fuck we want with some of the shit that he says. I'm getting nervous over here just thinking about my boss listening to me. I'm not even saying bad shit, but I do voice my free opinion out here on this podcast, and that's one thing I really do like. I like to be able to freely express my views without the I don't know, without seeing a big ass thumb come down on me and squish me. Don't need that shit happening. But back to just me being me on the road here. We're coming. We're out of St. Joe. We're coming past the scales. They closed the scale. This is a northbound scale on I-29. It says permanently closed. There's got a big sign on there saying closed. I don't know what they're doing here. I was talking with another trucker buddy of mine, and he was hoping that they're going to close it down. I mean, everybody wants them to close them down. No, I don't think any trucker likes having to pull into a fucking scale and be looked at meticulously and potentially, shut down. Now, I do realize there's a lot of trucks out here that probably should be shut the fuck down. I've seen guys running with no fucking tire. They're missing their fucking outside dual. And you're like, what the hell, buddy? You're driving with no fucking... Where'd your tire go? You better not be loaded. But, some people say that's why God gave you two of them. That's why God put two tires on each axle, is so you could lose one and still get to where you need to be. Now, DOT ain't going to see it that way. DOT, they're going to be upset. They're going to be upset. They're going to pull your ass over. I've seen some trucks, with some shit hanging out the back. It's usually like scrapper trucks or whatever. They got something hanging out the back, just waiting to fall. Maybe a car door or something. Those guys got to be stopped. Low tires, whatnot. But I don't know. I feel like the vast majority of truckers out here driving are just annoyed as hell every time they see that open sign that says, you ain't getting the bypass lane. You're pulling up onto the scale. We're going to weigh your ass. We're going to weigh you, check you out. And luckily, I've had pretty good luck going through there. There was one, they wanted to do a random inspection on me. Like, yep, we just have a random inspection. They could call any inspection a random inspection, but they don't have to do, DOT has got, they could make you bend over and be like, if you can't lick your own asshole, you're getting a ticket. And I mean, I can't do that. And they'll be like, well, here's the ticket, And you at home, you or listening here that might not be in the DOT world, yeah, they can't do that to regular cars, but they'll do that to semi-truck drivers. They could be like, hey, and one thing I've been seeing a little bit more of is, they're like, your bed ain't made. If you're running a sleeper cab, and they're like, let me take a peek in there, and they look and your bed isn't tidy, they can write you up, which is fucking insane, dude. My Facebook is going insane right now. What is going on? People are hitting like or sending comments or something here. I think maybe I just got notifications for that fucking post now. Damn it, dude. But, yeah, DOT, they can do whatever they want. I mean, part of me, is like, that's pretty fucking cool. I mean, I don't power trip on nobody, though, I thought about becoming a police officer back when I was a little younger. A lot of kids think that. They're like, oh, let me become a police officer. I'm telling you right now, if I still had the same frame of mind as I got right now, I don't know what happens after becoming a police officer. I know you go through some stressful shit, but I'm telling you right now, they would fire my ass because I wouldn't be giving out tickets. I would not be giving out no tickets. Unless it's like some real shit, but it's like, man, dude, you got a Camaro ZL1. That thing is fast as fuck, boy. I'd be like, let's race them. And I promise I won't fucking turn the lights on. I'm like, dude, look at this fucking gun I got here. You want to pop off, do a couple of desk pops? You do a couple of off on the side of the road pops, you know. Yeah, yeah, I can do whatever the fuck I want. Here's my taser. Let's take turns licking it. You know, I don't know what I would do if I became a police officer, but I don't know. I don't know. Um, and I think the internet really makes you not like police officers. I think that's a true thing right there. Get off the internet. Quit looking at the internet so much. I don't know. My fucking feed, man, is full of just. It's either people that deserve to be fucking beat to shit, or it's people that don't deserve to be beat to shit, and involving police. You know, so I don't know. It's not good. It's not healthy. Um, yeah, yeah, and I don't want to get into too much political shit, you know. And the police, apparently they're now political, you know. Everything's fucking political nowadays. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. Let's all be a guy outside. Let's just go clean the garage, man. Let's just go clean the garage. Um, I don't know. I guess I could bring up a couple of pastime jobs. I got a little bit of time here. Um, Now, I used to work at this place called Holcher. Now, I'm not a seasoned veteran at Holcher. I didn't work there for very long. But I will say it was one of the most exciting jobs I ever had. So what happens is a train, you know, it doesn't matter how big or small of a crash it is. If a train falls off the tracks, uh, and you guys wouldn't believe it because I didn't know it, they fall off the tracks a lot. Uh, a lot of them are small. It's just like a quick little pick it up, set it down, you're good to go, bud. But it's a big operation to get that done. And then sometimes, like the one I'm going to explain, is there was a train. I think it was 22 rail cars. They were the double stacked, uh, 40-foot containers. I think they were 40-foot containers. I don't know, whatever those shipping containers are. It was 20 rail cars, and they were double stacked. So it was 40, roughly around 40 fucking shipping containers. They got blown over by wind, and it derailed the train. It was a big fucking mess. No, the engine didn't knock over. I don't know. I don't. I mean, maybe it did. I showed up a little bit late to the party, but we went. We mobilized. We got all of our shit out there. This was northern Missouri somewhere. We went out there, and I've got some pictures of it. I don't know if I can find them to share them or not, but in some of the pictures that I got, you could you can kind of I can tell you what was in them. Like that one was it was full of peanut butter, you know. That one was full of icing. There was one that was full of Planters peanuts. There was a bunch of them that were just Amazon shipping. Just they're like these big bins that I'm guessing go to like the Amazon warehouse, full of just shit. A lot of dildos, and this was a while back. A lot of dildos shipped through Amazon. Electronics, all kinds of cool shit. There was one that was full of, I think it was wine bottles. There was no wine in them. It was just bottles, unlabeled, everything. They were just bottles in boxes, and it tipped over. That one was probably the most dangerous one that we had to deal with. Not because you're going to get cut on glass, because the skid steer going in and out, we had a tracked skid steer, and we were trying to, the container was upside down. So, you can't just pick the pallets up and yank them out. We had a bucket on there, and we were just going in there, and we had other guys, inside the container pulling out these pallets and shit. The glass dust, I got the fuck out of there. I almost pulled like a stop work authority. There's a bunch of guys in there. I was like, we got to get the fuck out of here. They're like, why? I'm like, do you not see the glass dust? At this, whenever we first opened it up, it wasn't bad. But as the skid steer's going in there, just constantly fucking mashing down all this glass, I was like, we need to have some sort of a, you know, protection going on here. I don't want to be coughing up blood later. That's not what I'm about. I don't want to be doing that. The Amazon one was probably the most fun because we were all just, you're not going to be picking up the shit fast. And the boss did come around and he looked at everybody and he said, hey, all of this shit belongs to the railroad. Stealing from the railroad will get you permanently, not or immediately fired and potential theft charges. And he reached down and he grabbed a pair of headphones in a box and he shoved them up his shirt and he walked off. So, that kind of created a rat race. Everybody was fucking grabbing shit, fucking shoving it in, And I had found an iPad or iBook, whatever the fuck the laptop's called. I'm not an iPhone guy. I don't know nothing about Apples. Other than don't eat the seeds because they got cyanide or some shit like that. I found this laptop or whatever, and it was brand new in the box, sealed up, and I set it off to the side, like up on the bank where the railroad track was up this bank or whatever, and then there's a bridge right there. I set it right there in put it underneath some rubble, and just kept on doing my job or whatever, and then we were getting ready to leave, and I turned around and I start walking over towards it, and one of our fucking bulldozers just runs right over my pile. And I was like, oh, no, dude. And after he passed, I went over there and I picked it. The box was still in perfect condition, except a corner of it was smashed. I opened up the box and the fucking computer was just completely fucking shattered and ruined. I was like, damn it, dude. I almost got a fucking free laptop. So I was probably one of the only people that didn't get anything good out of that fucking shit, But whatever, I want to follow the rules, and even though it was a wink, wink, don't do this, I didn't do it. Working with that company was pretty cool. They had a trailer, a dry van. Well, it wasn't a dry van. It was a food serving trailer that they would send out for like disaster relief, mainly for workers. But we went out with that, and I didn't get to go fill up the truck, but some of the other guys later on, we were sitting in the hotel lobby, and they were like, yeah, dude, it was fucking weird. One year, it was like the week of Thanksgiving or whatever, and we had a derailment out in the middle of nowhere, kind of, and we went to the next biggest city, and we bought every piece of meat they had. And I was like, oh, so you bought like all the steaks and stuff? He's like, no, like lunch, every fucking thing. We bought everything. We went in there, we sent probably 50 guys in there with shopping carts and credit cards. And they just, anything that was meat, that you could say it was meat, was thrown into the fucking shopping carts and bought. And we took it all back to our trailer or whatever. So an entire grocery store's worth of meat right before Thanksgiving. He's like, I think, he said something about it being on the news or something. That like everybody was like ready to go buy their turkey for Thanksgiving or whatever. And they're like, because we're in, it's kind of hard to get around out there. It was a far drive anywhere. And they bought every piece of meat right before Thanksgiving. But, the railroad doesn't give a shit about holidays. None of those guys were going to be home for Thanksgiving. the best they could do is, ruin everybody else's Thanksgiving. No meat for nobody. Should have been buying that shit earlier. This semi truck in front of me, I do not like him. He's a grain hauler, but I feel like he's a piece of shit. Just by the way he's driving, he hasn't used his blinker one time, and he's been just zigzagging in and out of fucking traffic here, and I don't like him at all. I'm not a big fan of you or what you're doing right now, bud. He got a nice Peterbilt, but the way you're driving it, I don't like it. Anyways, yeah, I don't. There was another problem with that. So whenever those shipping containers were emptied out, they were loaded up onto somebody else, some other company's truck, and we would help them chain them down, and then they would take them, and they were going to a scrapyard or something somewhere. And well, most of the food got buried out there. They bought a patch of land. The railroad bought some of the farmland out there. We dug a big hole and shoved all of the food that was food in there and buried it. And anything that was, other shit got like shipped to the landfill or whatever. I don't know. I was just part of like helping the rig up shit and help out the guys with the tractors that were picking up the heavy shit. Anyways, one of those shipping containers was twisted so bad that it wouldn't sit flat on the trailer. And they just said, it's fine. And they sent it. And I guess one of our guys was following him out there. And he was he's going underneath one of the first bridges they were going across, or underneath. And the shipping container hit the fucking bridge and stayed still. And he almost fucking rear-ended the shipping container. The truck just kept on going. I mean, didn't keep on going. He felt it. He pulled over, but the shipping container just went goodbye, and it just stayed right there in the middle of the highway. And that's interesting. But they were like, "Well, it's not on us. It was on the truck driver." I'm like, "That's fucked up. That's really. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but that's pretty fucked up." They're like, "Yeah, I don't know. We just drove around them and kept on going." I'm like, "That's fucked up, dude. Call us when it's an emergency." I was like, "That's really fucked up. You just helped this guy load this fucking shipping container on, and then it falls off the truck, and it's all his fault." Damn, dude. Are we? Yeah, we're back. Had a paperwork issue that I thought was all resolved, and apparently it's not all resolved. Don't you hate that? Like, I spent a lot of time this morning and talking to everybody, trying to make sure everything for me is figured out and everybody's on the same page. And then I get a call in the middle of recording a motherfucking podcast, and they're like, "Hey, this ain't right." And I'm like, "It is right." And then they're like, "Oh yeah, you are right. They did talk to you." Yeah, no shit. Oh well, it's fine. I just don't want to do any more paperwork, but they were trying to get me to. Yeah, it was working at Holcher was very exciting. I did run a dozer, a big fucking bulldozer. I don't know what type of dozer, but it was a dozer. My Facebook is going crazy. And yeah, ran excavator, skid steer. That's my first vac truck experience, my first guzzler experience, a high rail experience. I had my CDL permit, Class A permit, so I was learning to drive with them. They were the first people to give me some road experience. But I ended up not working there very. I had to get it the fuck out of there. That job was fucking crazy. If you don't have a CDL, they will not hire you as full time. I was a part-time employee. Part-time meaning you have no regulations. You don't get benefits, and there's no regulation to what they can do with you. That means other people that are full time get breaks. If you're part time, you don't get breaks. So you'll be rolling into Kansas City because I worked out in Kansas City location. You'd been out for a fucking week and a half. You're fucking beat to shit tired, uh, stinky, and you showered a couple of times, but you were out working most of the time, and you ain't got no clean clothes. You're on the pair of underwear you've already worn them once. Now they're inside out, and you're putting your shit into your truck, and these fucking supervisors would roll up on you, and you think they're just wanting to have a happy little conversation with you, like, hey, how you doing? And they would start out that way. They're like, where are you going? I was like, I'm going home. Been out all week. They're like, actually, you're not. Uh, we'll get you a hotel and we'll give you a couple of quarters to do laundry. Hop in. And that's how a lot of the times, it didn't happen super consecutively, but it was almost every time we got back after one big job, I would have to go out and do another fucking job. And it was a fucking it was exciting work. It was fun. A lot of brotherly, people out there. But doing that after they did that too many times, I was like, no, fuck you. I'm not going back out. I'm actually quitting. I've been looking for a different job. I got a different job. I'm getting the fuck out of here. And they're like, oh, you almost made it to full time. I'm like, I know. But also, they're like, yeah, as soon as you get your CDL, you can come work here. When the fuck do you think you are going to have time to ever go out and train and do your CDL? Uh, you know, get it. There was never going to be time. You really, I don't know. Some people can probably start that job with no CDL and get it, and everything would be fine. That was not in the cards for me, at least at that time. We were so fucking busy all the damn time. So yeah, didn't work there for too long, but I did work there. I did like it. It was a good time. I met a lot of people, got a lot of experience on different pieces of equipment and whatnot. But I was like, I gotta get something where I'm like not fucking driving around all the fucking time. That's when I started working at this other place. It's gone now. It used to be called Water Movers, and it was my wife's step uncle-in-law, whatever the fuck he was. And he was like, oh yeah, we could use a laborer, come work over here. So I started working over there, and we would do sewer bypasses. A lot of the times it was sewer bypasses. Some of the times it was actually clean water or pond water or something of that, but it was a lot of the times it was fucking sewers. So you gotta, somebody's working, they drill out, and they fucking hit the sewer line. We got to go out there and we got to create a temporary sewer with HDPE pipe, which that was pretty cool. You could, it's like plastic piping, and we had this machine that you would clamp the pipe on either side of this rotating bit, and it had blades on it, and it would make everything completely perfect. So you had this heating element. Put this heating element in there, and you hit the lever, and it pushes the pipes together, and it heats them up so much that when you pull it apart, you pull the heating element out, and then you squish it back together, and it uses it. You sit there and you let it hold with so much pressure for so long, it will fuse the pipe together. So there were joints. We would make joints here and there, but it was really cool. You could make a completely solid pipe for fucking miles. And we did a couple of times, you know. It was really cool. Really cool. But I got tired of getting covered in poop and whatnot. But Anyways, I don't know if you guys want to hear more about my train wrecking days or my shit piping days or uh, working at the steel yard. Where else did I work? I was a lumber. I worked at a lumber place, and I was a forklift operator for a long time. And then after I had quit and I did some of these other jobs, I finally got my CDL, and I came back as a delivery driver of wood products, and that was pretty. I really liked doing that job. It was not bad. I really liked doing that job. It wasn't paying as much as I needed it to pay, you know. And I'm kind of at that same point. I'm getting paid more than that now, but it's still not enough, really. I mean, but anyways, I'm gonna get off here. You all have a wonderful day. Adios. Keep all 18 down. We'll talk to you later.